Good afternoon, everyone. It is now 4 o'clock. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Please rise if you're able to for Roll Canada. All right, then. We have regrets today from Councillor Martin, who's unable to be here. Any declaration of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. Confirmation of minutes. Item 4.1. Moved by Councillor Reid, second by Councillor Ottens. That minutes of Township Mapleton Council meeting held on September 12th, 2023 be confirmed and circulated in the agenda. Any questions, comments? All in favor? It's carried. We have no matters arising from the minutes and nothing under the planning today, and there's no delegations. Going right on to 8.1. Moved by Councillor Otten, second by Councillor Reid. The Township Mapleton Council received for information draft minutes of the Township Mapleton Economic Development Committee meeting held on August 14th, 2023. Any comments or questions? There is no recommendations on those minutes. All in favor? It's carried. Item number 9.1, we have the draft calendar guidelines for 2024-2026 budget adoption, which is in your agenda. Mr. Clerk, are you speaking to this?
Thanks, sir. The purpose of this document is to keep, really it's internal, to keep senior staff on task, that we can all be on the same page and make the same deadlines. However, we are asking council to commit to 2 nights for public feedback. At the moment, they're tentatively November 6th and 7th, and that's what we're hoping to achieve tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk, and tentatively November 6th at the Alma Community Center, the public open house, and on November 7th will be the Moorfield Community Center. I do have a resolution here moved by Councillor Reid, second by Councillor Ottens, that Township of Mapleton Council received for information Clerk's Report 2023-19 regarding draft calendar guideline for 2024-2026 budget adoption. Questions or comments on this document? Councillor Marlene Ottens.
Thank you, Mayor Greg Davidson. I like this. I like the whole idea of getting this done early. I've seen some other townships, especially after the election, but you know, there's still budget talking in March, April. I like this to be done. I like our tenders to go out, everything approved. It's a lot easier to know. So I like it.
Any other questions, comments? I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you, staff, for putting that together for us. Moving on to number 9.1.2. This is a long resolution moved by Councillor Otten, second by Councillor Reid, that the CAO's report CL 2023-18 dated September 26, 2023 regarding Mapleton's water and wastewater RFP be received. And further, council directs staff to proceed with a request for proposal to find a proponent who can assist in financing and construction of our water and wastewater assets. And further, that council directs staff to confirm this agreement will indeed ensure that rate increases remain reasonable throughout the entire build-out of the plants. This confirmation is necessary to provide assurance to the public and stakeholders that their financial burden will be managed effectively. And further, that council directs staff to engage the proponent to help establish a municipal service corporation. This corporation will enable the borrowing of funds without negatively impacting the overall borrowing capacity of the township. This would ensure the efficient management of financial resources and to support the long-term development goals of the township. The establishment of the Municipal Service Corporation will provide a dedicated entity to handle borrowing activities, allowing for better financial planning and accountability. I'll turn that over to the CAO.
Thank you, Your Worship. So since almost 6 years now, we've been trying to figure out ways to address water, wastewater. We've been through, P3 partnerships, various stages. And I think now with what we're seeing from the government, build more homes faster with the Housing Accelerator Fund application that we've posted. There's pressure from both the federal and provincial governments to get homes built, and us being in the Golden Horseshoe growth area. I think it's important that we begin this journey once and for all. I know Jamie and I have talked about this at length. It's just time to try to move forward to get some pricing and try to get this plant built. We're talking about trying to get a school in Mapleton. Well, we can't do that without water or wastewater. Childcare, we can't do without wastewater. So we would just like permission from council and direction to move forward with the RFP process so that we can pick somebody that can help us guide us through the planning and building and of the wastewater plant and some of the upgrades to the water plant as well.
All right, thank you. Questions then from council to the CAO regarding this proposal? Nothing? Okay. All right. I read the resolution there. There's no questions and no comments. I'll call the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Item 9.2.1 is the next one up. This is moved by Councillor Otten, second by Councillor Tamlin. The Township Mapleton Council received for information finance report FIN 2023-22 regarding proposed fees and charges 2024. I'm going to turn that over to our finance director.
Through you, Your Worship, the preliminary draft here is just to maintain our fees at the rate of inflation. So that's what's being presented.
Thank you. And have any questions from council members then on the fees and charges that's been proposed? Councillor Ottens.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor. This is a random question, and this could be just because it's always been, but page 34, when we talk about the hall rentals, why do we charge an extra fee for round tables? Like, they're already there. It's like we don't charge for the regulars or the chairs, so why are we charging specifically for them?
Mr. Morgan.
I believe we're going to have to get back to you on that question. I believe, I seem to recall that the reason they charge is it has to be assembled, like brought out somehow. And it's extra work, but that's just in my back of my memory.
I think it'd be easier to roll out a round table than it would be to carry out a rectangle. All right. Any other questions or comments? Councillor Reid.
When we look at the list of service organizations that are doing rental halls and boardrooms at no cost, I know we had chatted before about possibly having a limit to how many per calendar year that they do? Does that need to be talked to at this point, or is that something to add later?
We could talk about it right now if you'd like to.
I just think, and I don't know what it's like for each group, but there seems to be a lot of activity going on, which is a great thing in the communities and a lot of events, but I'm wondering if limiting how many rentals per year are done at that level for free versus once they get to a certain number, then they pay for the ones following that. Because there's a lot of groups on this list, and if all of them are using the hall and using it at no cost always, there has to be benefits to the township as well.
Well, the benefits, when we originally put this list together is because they're usually raising funds to go back into the community again. So that's why that list was put together in the first place. We never put a limit on it. I think the question should be asked, and maybe we get staff to bring back to us, is who's taken advantage of it and how many times they've taken advantage of it. And we can talk about, well, then we'll have the information in front of us, whether we know we have to put limits on it or not.
That would be great.
Okay, so if we can get that information back, Mr. Barron, and then we'll be able to talk about that in the future. Any other further questions or comments? All right. Seeing none. Go ahead, Mr. Barron.
At some point, sorry, just the point I thought, this will come back because we are doing a couple studies. One's the development charge study and the other one is planning and building fee study. So it may come where we approve this, but have to come back for an addendum at some point later on past so I just want to make sure that we're aware of that.
Thank you for that information. Anything further? I'll call the question. All in favor? It's carried. Going on to item number 11 then, 11.1. This is moved by Councillor Tamlin, second by Councillor Ottens, whereas older adults in Canada have been and continue to be valued and important lifelong contributors to the advancement of Canadian society. Whereas older adults are at risk of fatal fall-related injuries as well as non-fatal fall-related injuries that frequently result in disability, chronic pain, loss of independence, and reduced quality of life. Whereas falls are leading cause of injury-related deaths and hospitalizations, and the cost of healthcare system, $9.1 billion, resulting in 1.5 million emergency department visits, 133,017 hospitalizations, 38,848 disabilities, and 5,249 deaths. Whereas Fall Prevention Month is an annual call to action campaign that encourages Canadian organizations and individuals to come together to deploy fall prevention efforts each November for a coordinated and larger impact. Everyone has a role to play in creating change to prevent falls and fall-related injuries. Therefore, we, Mayor Davidson, and council members of the Township of Mapleton do hereby proclaim November as Falls Prevention Month. Any comments? All in favor? That's carried. You have in front of you some information for correspondence with council's information. The Historical Society will be having their at the information night on Drayton Town Hall Opera House. That's actually going to be held at the Drayton Theater, which is fantastic to be able to hold it there. So that information there is for you. The Municipal Property Assessment Corporation In Touch newsletter, the Maintenance Conservation Update Report. We do have one from the Office of Fire Marshal regarding the fire chief's role in reporting to municipal councils. And the last one is a Township of Woolwich notice of public open houses, comprehensive zoning bylaw review. Any questions or comments on any of those five? Seeing none, then we'll move to notices of motion. I haven't heard of any. I don't think we have any. There is a notice of provision there, a notice of a public meeting, fees and charges by law 2024 to 2026. That the proof going into the Wellington Advertiser and the Community News. Item number 15 is other business. Do we have anything from council? Right, Councilor Ottens? Nope, nothing? It's already covered? All right, the Historical Society, what date is that? October the 2nd in the evening. Okay, 7:00 PM. Thank you. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there. Mr. Morgan and Mr. Barron and I will be at a wastewater conference. So we won't be able to be there for that. Unfortunately, I was really looking forward to actually hearing about that. If there's no other business, then we'll move on to item number 16.1. Moved by Councilor Otten, second by Councilor Tamlin, the Township of Mapleton Council move into a closed session to consider the following subject matters: review and adoption of the closed minutes, September 12th, 2023, and a proposed disposition of land by the municipality. All in favor? And we'll take 5 minutes and go into closed. Thank you.